Welcome back. We are about to kickstart our fourth and final session. So batting cleanup today is Luke Akery. Luke is the president of Reminder Media, publisher of American Lifestyle Magazine, runs a top 100 Apple marketing podcast, big energy marketing enthusiast, a great resource for our industry. And we're very, very excited to have him today. Just as a reminder, before I turn it over to him, the session will be recorded. Everything will be available at the conclusion of the week to watch or to go back to. We want to make sure these sessions are interactive. We encourage you to use the chat feature or the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen. And as Cheryl and Ryan had shared earlier, we should all hopefully have basic navigation skills of Zoom and how it works. So please keep those questions coming, again, to keep things lively. And all attendees will be on mute. So Luke, we appreciate you joining us today. I'm going to let you get started and we'll go from there.
Thank you so much, Brian. Excited to be with everybody. I'm excited to be the in speaker too. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Like Brian said, super high energy. If you wonder throughout the presentation when I'm speaking super fast, is this how he normally is? You ask anybody, everybody I get around, I can't help myself. And I've had no energy drinks today, but I just believe that, man, emotion creates motion. And we all want motion in our business. We all want to be moving forward. And so I really believe that energy can help you do that. I'm a student of Tony Robbins. But today, I want to talk to you guys about something that's been fundamental in changing my whole business and changing the business for my clients. And that's how do you create raving fans in your business today? This is probably the most critical question, especially as things come thrown at you that you can't control. How do you make sure that these people, they rave about you, they love you, so they never leave you? So they not only never leave you, but they refer you. And I'll start out with this. There is a huge problem, massive problem in the financial services industry, but this transcends industries. Tell you a little bit about me. Been at this for over a decade. I've had the privilege to work with over 100,000 small businesses with their marketing, with their sales processes. And I've had the privilege to work in 140 different industries. Right now, I work with about 3,000 financial professionals today. And I see this problem really pervasive across industries. And if you can fix this problem, I promise you, not only will you probably double your revenue, increase more revenue, we all want that as business owners, but more importantly than increasing your revenue, you'll actually solve one of the greatest problems for entrepreneurs, which is, do you ever feel like you're on like a roller coaster? 1 month, it's a good month. Next month, it's a down month. 1 year, it's a good year. Next year, it's a down year. And you're sitting there as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, scratching your head going, how do I build a scalable and repeatable business? Something that I can rely on. So you're probably all wondering at this moment, what's the problem, Luke, that you're talking about? And here's what I found. Over 50% of leads that are actually generated for your business today are completely wasted. 50%, and a better word than leads, if you're taking notes, is opportunities. 50%, this should be a gut check to everybody. The research shows that over 50% of the opportunities that you have entering to your ecosystem today as a business owner are completely wasted. Inc. magazine wrote an article and did research, said it was higher than 70+% are wasted. And I'm not just talking about your internet leads. I'm not just talking about the leads that you're proactively going to get. Look at this stat from the financial arena. 70% of widows move their assets within 2 to 10 months of their husband passing away. And what's so tragic about that, not only are you losing that account, look at this next stat. Women are 3 times more likely to refer you business than men are. So if you're an advisor right now, and you're thinking to yourself, do you have a relationship with the spouse? And you don't, man, you need to put that as an action item. That is the first thing you need to do, because when I look at this and I look at this problem and I go into businesses and coach and audit, what I find is it never has to do with the ability that you have in servicing them from a transaction basis, from a product basis, the advice you're giving them. You're usually giving them stellar advice. It literally comes down to you deal with Luke 9 times out of 10, in every review, every phone call, every email communication, you never talk to his wife, Megan. And then when Luke passes away, it's not that Megan felt like she was getting bad advice. She felt like there's no connection. And in that moment in her life of real tragedy and real emotion, she wants to be with people that she can trust. And because she's been with you and she hasn't felt like she's had a relationship, and then we see the kids whispering in mom's ear, that's where the pain point comes in and you get that account transfer. And then the last stat that really should drive this home for you is that 2% of kids actually keep their parents' financial professional. So if you're my father, Alan's financial professional, you have a 2% chance of keeping me when my father passes away, and I get that. That beneficiary is so critical. This is also alarming. The average high net worth individual has 4.4 advisors. So another gut check, because I'm into these ideas of reflecting and auditing your business and going, how do I get to the next level? How do I increase? Are you the advisor of trust? Out of the 4.4 on average, are you the number one advisor they think of? Are you the one that they trust the most? And if you're not, or if you don't know that, if you don't think you have all the assets, it actually is an account for you needing to get deeper into the relationship, because you know this better than I know this. You can't control the market. You can't control a national pandemic, right? But what you can control is the relationship. And I guarantee you this, because I've seen it with my clients, is the people that end up leaving their advisor in a time of crisis, when the market tanks, is the person that feels like all they were getting was a transactional service, because I can go to a lot of different places to get transactional services. I can invest my money with a lot of different people and a lot of different applications. But if you have a relationship with me where you're Luke, my friend, where you're Luke who knows my kids, who knows my dreams, who knows my future, it's a lot harder for me to leave. So the real $1 million question is, how do you do this? And that's what I want to share with you over the really next 15 minutes. I want to share with you guys a framework that I have seen and tested not only in my own business, but in other marketing companies. And really, when I look at a financial professional's business, this is what I tend to see if they are stagnant, if they're not growing, and they're at a place where they're losing business, they're on that roller coaster and they're looking for a chance to grow. I look at their sales funnel, I look at their nurture system. And what happens is I find them where in their business, they have the bucket of their business. They're trying to fill it up with the water, which is their clients. And it ends up happening that they spend all of their time, energy, and money up here at the top of the bucket. They start going after trying to do cold calling, trying to do seminars, trying to do things. And there's nothing wrong with those things. You need to fill up your bucket. But I'm going to be the bringer of obvious news here. If you are filling up a bucket that has holes in it full of water, and you stop for a second, you're prospecting, you stop for a second doing the seminars, the cold calling, what happens to that bucket full of water? And everybody knows the bucket runs dry. So if you ever feel like you're on a hamster wheel and you don't have a scalable business, look towards that you're actually spending your time and energy in the wrong place. You need to spend actually the majority of your time, energy, and money on the relationships that you already have in your bucket. The research shows that the majority of your deals are going to come from the relationships you already have. I'll tell you something that I do when I audit a business. If you want to know what someone believes in, like all of you on this call right now, if I wanted to know, hey, what does Brian actually believe in his life? Where does he actually go and focus? All I would look at is, where does he spend his money? So I look at his bank account and I look at his calendar. Where does he spend his time? Because the place someone spends their money and spends their time, guess what? That's what's important to them. That's what they believe in. So I would look at that and go, hey, when I look at your business, when I look at your marketing, every advisor that I talk to, they know they have to build strong relationships. I'm not telling you something new right now. But the question is, when I look at your marketing and I audit it, are you focused a heavy amount of your time and energy into those relationships you have? Here is the framework that you must have in your marketing system to drive referrals and to drive repeat business for you with your clients. I actually call this FIT, just as I'm a fan of acronyms because they're easy to digest, even though they're corny. So if you take notes, it's called the FIT framework, which is FIT. The first piece to fix this leaky bucket is you must have a marketing system for your clients that creates frequency. Frequency stands for how often you're communicating with somebody, how frequent are you in front of them, and also what channel are you communicating on. I'll teach you a psychology principle here. The key to frequency is this: the more you're in front of somebody, The more you're having combos with them, the more you have things going to them, different trip campaigns, different trips, the more familiar they become with you. The more familiar somebody becomes with you, the more comfortable they become with you. The more comfortable somebody is with you, the more they trust you. We're all trying to get to know, like, and trust, right? And a perfect example of this is myself right now on this webinar. So many of you have probably never heard of me before, never seen me before. You're like, who is this guy that talks really fast from Philadelphia? What's his name? Luke Akery. And your trust is probably naturally low with me right now. Nothing wrong with that. I haven't done anything wrong. You haven't done anything wrong. This is the first time I'm in front of you. When you meet someone new, there's a lack of comfort and trust naturally. But I promise you, if you start getting on my email campaigns, if you started listening to my podcast, if you started hearing me speak more and more, if we talked face to face, the more I got with you frequently, the more familiar you'd become with me and the more comfortable you become with me. So you have to be frequent, but I chose the word frequency specifically because marketing can't just be frequent. It also has to be frequent, but on the right channel. Just like radio stations have a frequency level, your clients have a frequency level, right? So they want to be communicated in a way that they like to be communicated with. So maybe for Luke, it's a face-to-face. Maybe for Bob, he actually wants a text message, right? There's different channels, email, text, phone calls, social media. You should know what are the ways of communication that my client actually prefers. That's why frequency is critical. Now, this is a 3-step framework because if you're just frequent, it can result in the negative impact that you don't want. I'll give you an example. I actually have this pin on my desk right here. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it has my logo on it, right? So the Reminder Media logo. So I could send Brian this pin every 2 weeks as a marketing piece and go, man, I want to keep my brand frequently in front of Brian so he never forgets me. The problem is eventually Brian's going to go, Luke, if you send me another gosh darn pen, man, I don't need any more pens. And it will have a negative impact on my business. This is what most businesses fail to do. What happens is they get into business, they start out and get out there in the world and they start blasting to the world. I'm in business. Look at me. Here are my transactions and what I can offer. Here's my accolades. Here are my services. It's all me, 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 me. And we never flip the coin on its head and go, wait, what if I actually market to the client with things that are about them, that what they would enjoy, more than just things about showcasing what I offer and what I do? That's why you need the I, you need impact. You can't just be frequent. You have to be frequent with things of impact. Here's the key to marketing in my decade of doing this that I have found. The key to marketing is relevancy. The more relevant you can be to your audience, the more they'll pay attention. The less relevant, the more they just glance at something and toss it. Perfect example would be if I bought a car a week ago and I see a car commercial come on the TV today, I have no need for that car. So it's not relevant to me anymore. I have no pain point anymore for that car, no desire for that car. And so I'm tuned out. The more relevant you can make your messaging to somebody, the more it will actually get their attention. And when you get their attention, you can deliver a message. And when you deliver a message in marketing, you can get people to take action. So here's a tip that I always give to my clients when it comes to impact and relevancy for your database. If you've ever heard of the Ford method, the exercise that I teach is take your CRM right now, look at your database of contacts. You know, you got Brian in there, you got Luke in there. I see Andrew on the screen, Richard Yost on the screen. So you got these people in your database. Look at them and ask yourself, do I know the Ford methodology on Luke? So what is the Ford methodology? It stands for family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. You need to know, hey, what's going on with Luke's family? So if you were my advisor, you would know my wife, Megan, and I, we just actually had our first little girl. Her name's Evelyn. So you would know that, hey, this is what's happening in Luke's family. Hey, his occupation, what does he do for work? His hobbies, what is he into? Is he into music? Is he into golf? What is he into? And then his dreams. Where's Luke going? What is he trying to achieve? Man, you as a financial advisor, you have such a huge part in someone's dreams in the financial professional world that you can play a huge part in helping them achieve something in their life. And when you know those 4 pillars on somebody, you have a great relationship with that person. Now, you're not going to know all pillars at all times of somebody, but it's a great exercise. And now in your outreach, You can go, man, I really haven't caught up with Luke very much on his hobbies lately. Let me check in. And it gives you a reason to call your clients that are non-transactional based. The other way to create impact is through quality. The more relevant and the more quality you give. Have you ever gotten a personal gift from somebody? When you get a personal gift from somebody that's like impactful, that's high quality, it triggers in psychology reciprocity. Where, man, when you do something nice for somebody, they want to reciprocate. They want to do something nice back for you. And hopefully you train them to reciprocate in referrals, to reciprocate in repeat business, to stay with you longer. So you want to be frequent in your marketing. You want to build impact in your marketing, but you can't stop there. And there's a specific reason why you need all three of these elements in your marketing framework. Because if you're frequent with somebody with impactful things, you're going to end up with a bunch of best friends, which is not bad. But in business, I don't need a bunch of best friends, probably like you don't need a bunch of best friends. You need business. You need them to actually use you. You need this last element in your marketing. You need trust. You need to become what I call is the business of trust in your industry. So you want to be the subject matter expert, meaning that when people think of your expertise, like they think of investing their money, they think of insurance policies, they think of these things, they think of you because they see you as the subject matter expert in your industry. How do you build trust in marketing? I think there's three real simple ways you can do it. There's a myriad of other ways, but three simples that I'll give you on this webinar is one is you can build trust through accolades. So you can showcase your accolades, things like how long you've been doing something. So we actually did this. So when Brian introduced me, he was reading some of my accolades. Because if I come out on stage and I go, hey, my name's Luke, I'm a marketer, that's great, but it doesn't build a ton of trust. If I say, hey, Luke, hey, my name's Luke, I'm a marketer, been at this for over a decade. I've worked with 100,000 plus clients in 140 different industries. Your trust naturally goes up with me just from the accolades. But the accolades, you got to be careful because I call them like humble brags. You can brag about yourself, but you have to walk that fine line because you don't want to become over bragging about yourself because that leads to the second way you can build trust. People care what you have to say, but they care more what your clients have to say about you. So a perfect example, my partner in crime here, Steve, and I are going through the process of like estate planning right now. So super relevant. We're going through this process of estate planning. We're hiring this firm out. Well, this firm got us to call 3 of their current clients to hear what their current clients have to say about them and their experience with this firm. What they're trying to do is naturally build trust. So in your marketing, see if you can, and especially in the financial arena, things are starting to change, which is fantastic, where you can start showcasing some testimonials and showcasing, hey, here's what my clients say about me. The third and the best way to build trust, but so few people do it because it's a long-term game, not a short-term game, is you can build trust through education. So what that looks like is if you're a financial advisor, you can give away free educational content. You can educate your community on different pain points that they need to be aware of, different things they can do to achieve the desired outcome that they want. That's going to naturally position you as an authority on a subject matter if you do it frequently. So a great way to do this, if you're looking for ways to have content, is write down your FAQs. Your frequently asked questions. What are the questions that people ask you nonstop all the time that you have answers to? Man, you can now document these from an educational perspective. Maybe film a video with an answer to that question, write a blog post with an answer to that question. Then you can send that out through an email to your client database. You could text it to somebody if you wanted to, post it on your social media, that type of idea. You're giving free educational content that over time done consistently will build credibility. How do I know this to be true? I've seen it in my own business. I started a podcast 3 years ago that nobody listened to. Like I think it was my mom and a couple friends. And now we're constantly in the top 30 on iTunes for marketing. And the reason why that has helped me so much is because it's starting to position me as an authority on the subject of marketing, even though 3 years ago, it was just my mom listening to me. But it's the consistency of time, putting out free value that's impactful, that puts me as an authority figure on the subject matter of marketing that is starting to pay dividends for me in my business. This is the framework that you need. What I would encourage all of you to do after this webinar is look at your marketing and ask yourself, am I frequent? both in terms of how many times I'm contacting somebody, how often I'm communicating with them, and the channel. Is it the channel they want? Am I building impact? Do I know the Ford methodology? Am I communicating with people the way they would want to receive things, not just what I want to showcase? And then do I have educational things or things that are building trust in my drip nurturing to both my prospects and my current clients? So I end up getting referrals from my current clients and I don't lose them. I know this works because over the past really 18 years, I've done it with a specific product. And I share this product so you guys can get an idea of, oh, well, how would this look in real time if somebody was doing it? So I created here at Reminder Media with my team a 48-page coffee table publication. It's 48 pages. It looks a lot like an architectural digest or a Real Living. It's high quality, high gloss covers. Here's the unique thing about it. It has nothing to do with finance. Like, it's not about financial information. It's not about insurance or anything like that. It literally is created so it can go out frequently, because what else goes out frequently? A magazine subscription can go out frequently every 2 months. Not only does it go out consistently because it goes out every 2 months, but you can actually personalize the magazine to the individual you're sending it to create impact. So like our advisors, what they'll do is they'll get in there, and they won't do this for everybody, but if they know Luke's an advocate of theirs, and Luke and Megan just had their first little girl, Evelyn, you can get in and write a personal letter on the inside cover of their magazine. And that magazine would go directly to Megan and I with a personal letter from our financial advisor just to us. The other way that people create impact is they customize the different pieces of the magazine to showcase things that they're involved in their community, whether it's a charity that they support, whether it's a charity that their client supports, an event that's going on, things that would tie them to the Ford methodology of what do my clients care about? What are they into? And it might be as simple as like a health tip or a recipe. Like the amount of times that I've had an advisor of mine call me up and say, Luke, you have no idea. I literally had a conversation with the wife of my client about a recipe or about a fitness tip, and I've never really talked to him before. It's amazing because people 98% of the time, they're not focused on their financials. They're focused on what they do every day in life, what they're into, their lifestyle, their fitness, their health, their travel. And so we wanted to put something out that was impactful, but at the same time could build trust. And so on our magazine, you can put things like your accolades. You could put things like educational pieces, events that you're doing, like a shredding day event that's coming up, things that will naturally build subconsciously and consciously with your clients. Hey, here's who I am in the industry. But the main purpose of this is to be just an impactful, frequent gift that you give your clients to keep you top of mind. Because you know, if I can find ways to get deeper connected with them, to build a stronger relationship, to get more known, like, and trusted with that person, no matter what comes our way with the market, with pandemics, with anything, that person's going to see me as their person of trust, and they're not going to end up leaving me. It's been so crazy over the past 18 years doing this with millions and millions of these copies going out, seeing the responses when you shift your marketing and you go, look, I know I need to market my business. I need to showcase the products and services I offer. I need to showcase what I can bring to the table. But before doing that, I'm going to more focus on building the relationship, which is the long-term game. The results that advisors and financial professionals get from doing that is immense. If you're interested to learn more about that, you can check that out at remindermedia.com/financial. I would encourage you, whether you use a magazine, you use email, you use social, you use text, you do seminars, look at your marketing framework and go, does it fit the FIT methodology? Does it have frequency, impact, and trust? And if it doesn't, you need to start auditing your business and implementing in your business, because I know regardless of the system you use, it must accomplish those three things. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you guys. Hope you got a lot of value out of that. I'll open it up to questions. If you have any questions on the framework or anything that I can answer for you, would love to answer any questions for you guys.
Luke, great information. Hey, question. When we talk about frequency, obviously, and you alluded to, there can be this fine line between too much or not enough. And I'm curious if you kind of figured out what that sweet spot is, but also even taking it a step further, does it change to different demographics? And in your methodology, are there ways for you to kind of manage that?
Yes, fantastic question. In marketing, there's this golden rule called the law or rule of seven. So the rule of seven basically states that it takes someone 7 times to become comfortable and your brand to become recognizable to them. So if you are marketing to a prospect, right, and this is someone new in your business that you're trying to really solidify, in industries, we've seen an 8x8 campaign work really, really well for prospects, which is 8 different touch points over 8 weeks. So that gives you an idea. On the client side, a lot of it comes down to your clientele and your personality. And I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by that. I have a big time client in Annapolis. This guy, Brian, he does over 250 touch points a year for his clients. You heard me correct. 250 touch points a year for his clients, which seems crazy. He's sending text messages. He's doing events. He sends our magazine, those type of things. He does like 6 million a year out of his business, right? So massive producer. And the point I'm trying to make with saying the 250 is it's really hard to do too many touch points if you're focused on value, but it's really easy to do too little. So I have another big time producer, has about a $500 million book of business in Ameriprise. He found that it was around 30 to 33 touch points for his clients that he felt over the course of a year really produced for him. I always encourage people, you at least need 1 touch point a month. So you have to be reaching out to your clients at least 1 touch point a month from a physical standpoint where you're giving them a text, you're giving them a phone call, those type of things. You're checking in, shooting them a personal email, something that's more personal than a mass blast. And then you can set up nurture campaigns, whether it's 6 touch points through a magazine, it's 12 different emails on top of that go out, your quarterly reviews. You can put together a plan that gets you to like 30 touch points a year. And that tends to be, and we've seen that work in real estate. Actually, a 33 touch in real estate has proven to be really successful. Why do I mention real estate? Because the consumer doesn't really change, right? Real estate agents are still selling to the same consumers you guys tend to service and sell to. So it's like that sweet spot around 30 is what we've seen.
So yeah, red hot real estate market too right now anyway.
Yeah, crazy.
At least in the Northern Virginia area where I am. For our members and a lot of folks on this call, some of them are tied to the different, a career agency or different companies or broker dealers, and there are some sensitivities around compliance. Not necessarily specific to your magazine or publication, but for groups that may be limited in what they're able to do, do you have some suggestions on ways to kind of be creative?
Yeah, we have found over the years, and I know compliance is obviously something that we all have to work through, and each firm's a little unique. We have found lifestyle-based content, compliance seems to be okay with. They don't have a problem with deep fried mac and cheese, right? Going to your clients or something like that. So from a lifestyle standpoint, I think you're safe. So you should look and go, what relationship style stuff am I sending? Like, do I have anything on travel? Do I have anything on food? Do I have anything from a lifestyle-based standpoint that's really helping my clients? From a compliance standpoint, it depends what firm you're in for the testimonials, the education. What we have encouraged our clients to do is if they don't like your education, they more than likely have produced educational content for you that they've already pre-approved that you can use and take advantage of that.
Excellent. And for those on the call too, while deep fried mac and cheese sounds delicious, it could create some challenges in underwriting. So I would suggest going.
Great point.
Well, Luke, we really appreciate the time today. Great information. Reminder Meter has been a great partner for NAFA. So I encourage everyone here on the call to check it out. It's a great way to differentiate yourselves amongst your peers. And again, come to market and be relevant to your clients a little differently than some of the others out there. So, Luke, thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody's time. Thank you, Brian.
And for everyone on the call, this is going to wrap up our day. We're going to get a few minutes back of our afternoon. So we appreciate everyone spending some time with us. We're very excited to have our third and final day tomorrow. We're going to get started at noon again with Brock Jolly, who's going to be talking about college or retirement. But really there's room for both. So he's a great resource. We're excited to have Brock kicking off the day. I thank everyone for participating. If you're, and I'll say this, if you're not a member, this is just a sample of what I believe is some really great thought leadership that NAFA puts out throughout the year. We encourage you to join. And if you are a member, call a friend and tell them to get on board. So thanks again for everyone's time. Keep well, stay safe, and we will see you tomorrow at noon.